I said who he played for. Y'all got it wrong for like 5 guesses.
Oh, you did send us that one.
Is he on the
Okay.
Exhibit 10 contract, or is that
Ooh, that's spooky.
why is
Exhibit 10.
18 assists in just 5 games. That's how many times Yuki Kawamura has set up Kai Sotto for easy buckets. And get this, Kawamura's only 5'8". He's dishing out dimes like he's 6'6". But here's the kicker. Sotto, standing at a massive 7'3", is now hitting threes like a guard. Yeah, you heard that right. This duo is breaking all the rules and they're just getting started. Want to see how they're changing the game? Keep watching. Let's talk about how Yuki and Kai met for the first time. It's like a storybook basketball game. These guys are from very different places, but they love the game and have come together. What's crazy about that? The difference between them is bigger than some people are tall. The distance is a huge 19 inches, people. On the court, though, it looks like they can talk to each other.
You can get to Yuki because Yuki was a.
Oh, yeah.
Caitlin Clark was there last night to watch Yuki Kawamura.
Yeah, she was there to see Japanese Stockton.
While Kai hits shots into the stands like King Kong protecting his territory, Yuki flies around like a hummingbird on a sugar high. Wow, that's really something to see. Do you remember their first game together? Just magic. People were shocked by what they saw. There were gaps that were too big for Yuki to pass through, but Kai was catching them like his hands were magnets. It was like seeing an anime basketball story come to life right in front of our eyes. It gets even stranger than that. How these two improve each other's games. The defenders are having a terrible time with Yuki's speed and vision and Kai's height and reach. It's one thing to try to keep up with Yuki's lightning-fast crossovers, and another to look up and see Kai dunking over your head. Also, I want to say that the fans love it. Whenever Yuki and Kai play together, the arena is packed with people who are very excited. People can't take their eyes off of this strange pair. It's like David and Goliath joined forces instead of going up against each other.
I hated guarding him in the pick and roll, because he always set you up like he about to go over and cross over so fast.
Yeah.
And I'll catch up with him.
Now they're going to stop the basketball world together. Do not change the settings on your TV the next time you see a tiny blur flying around a huge giant during a game. That's just Yuki and Kai doing what they love to do, going against the odds and scoring big. I promise you that you won't want to miss a second of their basketball magic. Do you remember the tiny blur we talked about? Now let's get close to Yuki Kawamura. But when he steps on the court, it's like he has rockets in his shoes. This guy isn't much taller than the average fan in the stands. What's really crazy, Yuki's numbers from Japan's B-League are crazy good. In a typical game, he scored 13.8 points and passed the ball 8.3 times. Not only is that good, it's crazy. Giving out assists is like giving out Halloween candy for free. However, the really exciting thing is that Yuki is no longer just tearing it up in Japan. This pocket-sized powerhouse signed with the Grizzlies to play in the NBA. Picture yourself in his shoes, taking your first steps on an NBA court. Wow, what a dream come true. What's even stranger? Yuki isn't just surviving in the NBA, he's thriving. He lit it up in just 9 minutes in his first game against the Mavericks. Yes, Yuki proved in just 9 minutes that he belongs in the big leagues. Let's talk about how he was shot. This guy not only passes, he scores too. Yuki makes 47.5% of his field goals and 37.8% of his three-point shots. That's great. So great that it will make the defenders cry. But do you know what really blows my mind? Yuki's getting used to playing with the NBA's big teams. He is not scared at all. He even said, "I'm used to playing with giants," referring to the times he played with Kai Sotto and other tall men. He seems to have been getting ready for this his whole life. It's clear that Yuki's heart beats his height in basketball. People who don't believe him are becoming believers faster than he can steal the ball. How big you play is just as important as how tall you are. Also, Yuki plays a lot. Don't roll your eyes the next time you see a little guy flying around the court, making passes that shouldn't be possible, and sinking shots that don't make sense. All that's left is Yuki Kawamura, the pocket rocket, showing everyone that small things can have big effects. Do you think Yuki's game is so cool? Stay in your seats because the next person we'll see on the court is the exact opposite of him. Kai Sotto is so tall that he might need his own area code. But here's the cool thing. He's as skilled as a point guard. How does that big guy move? It looks like a giraffe is dancing. Let's talk about Kai now. He must have to duck under doors just to get to practice because he's so tall. As big as he is, don't think he's just stumbling around the court. No, Kai has skills that will blow your mind faster than Yuki can cross over. Listen up, Kai isn't just dunks on people like you'd think a 7-footer would. His three-point shots look like they were made by Steph Curry's long-lost brother. I am not joking. This player makes 27.8% of his shots from beyond the arc. That's crazy for a big man. He just forgot to stay in the paint, it looks like. What's even stranger, though, Kai's shooting in general. He makes 50.1% of his field goals. Yeah, that's good. It's make the defenders cry good. It looks like he's using cheat codes to play a video game. Kai's progress is through the roof. Check out his stats from the last few games. He's getting stronger in real time. While he's not quite in the NBA yet, he's really knocking on that door. They might give in and let him in to stop the noise. Who does he make people think of? A young Draymond Green who is a lot taller. Analysts say that Kai has the same pick-and-pop style as Draymond, which is very hard for defenders to handle. It would be hard to guard someone who can post you up 1 minute and then drain a three in your face the next. It's not right. That's not all, though. When Yuki's on the court, Kai's game really steps up. Seems like Yuki has a magic wand that makes Kai play even better. There's nothing better than seeing these two play together. Defenders don't know what to do as Yuki zips around and Kai towers over them. Kai is not only changing the game, but also the way people think about outsiders who play. He's breaking new ground for Filipino players playing abroad. He motivates a whole group of kids back home every time he steps on the court. He seems to be playing for the whole country instead of just himself. That's what I call a gentle giant who makes a big difference. Yuki and Kai can do a lot on their own, but what can they do when they work together? Seeing a magic trick where 1 + 1 = 3 is like this. You might think there's a bug in the Matrix because of how crazy their stats are when put together. Want to know how they were able to work together so magically? Let's talk about how many there are. Yuki averaged 20.4 points and made 74% of his shots during one of their best 5-game runs together. Not just good, that's video game good. What about Kai? Right next to him, he was controlling the paint and making threes like it was nothing. These guys changed Yokohama's record in just 17 games in Japan. It looks like magic basketball dust was thrown on the whole team. What's even stranger, though, it's not just the numbers. People are seeing international players in a new way thanks to Yuki and Kai. There is no one way that these two should look like a basketball team. Both are huge, but when they work together, they can't be stopped. It's like seeing David and Goliath work together instead of fight. As a child in Japan or the Philippines, you would love to see these two rip it up. There's Yuki, this pocket-sized powerhouse who runs around the court like he has rocket boots on. Then there's Kai, who is taller than everyone else and blocks shots and dunks like it's nothing. These guys don't just play ball. They're an inspiration to a whole generation. What's the secret to how well they get along on the court? They were friends outside of basketball. The way these guys play shows how close they are. To help Kai, Yuki is even giving up his own scoring stats. That is more than just working together. That is brotherhood. Plus, these two have crazy fans in both Japan and the Philippines. No longer are they just players, they're heroes. Hey, that could be me one day, young ballers think as they look at Yuki and Kai, as if they were writing a new playbook for what can be done in basketball. In basketball and in life, Yuki and Kai show that being different can be your best quality. They're not only changing the rules, but also people's minds. With Yuki's new preseason contract with the NBA, it looks like they're taking their show to a bigger stage. Basketball fans should be careful, because this dynamic pair is just getting started. Let's end this now. Yuki and Kai don't just play, they changed the rules. They're breaking down walls we didn't know were there. It looks like the basketball rules are being changed right in front of our eyes. What's really strange? These two show that the most magical things can happen when the least likely things are put together. You don't have to fit into a box. You have to break that box apart and build something new. In fact, Yuki and Kai are doing. You don't want to miss a single chapter of this basketball story these guys are writing. It's like seeing a real-life sports movie come to life. So if you're watching TV and see these two on the court, pause and pay attention. You might be able to see history being made.